Hey everybody, and welcome back to Crypto Kings. My name is Matt, and in today's video we're going to be talking about a lot of potential scenarios going on right now for Shiba Inu. So if you guys are new, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more daily SHIB vids, and let's get right into it. So if you guys have not seen exactly what SHIB here is doing on the day, it's a little bit concerning because I know there are a lot of people out there who are somewhat worried about the fact that we are slipping below the 60, which is considered to be kind of the main support line that a lot of people were looking to establish, and we're going to get into that more a little bit later on in the video. So right now we're at 57, which is not very good, and market cap wise, you guys can see we're at $31 billion, which is definitely below where we were, of course, obviously beating Dogecoin, which was definitely a triumph to say the least. And this is nothing against Doge, but it was nice to see SHIB in the spotlight for a little while. Volume wise, you guys can see it is up a lot, but that is sell volume, definitely not particularly hot. Now I want to go over a couple of circumstances here that could either be bullish or bearish, and kind of get your guys' take on how you feel about this. So the first thing we'll look at here is what an inverted cup handle pattern looks like, because this is a pattern that actually a lot of people called early on and is very important. So a typical cup and handle will be bullish, and you guys can see the way this typically works is you have a little bit of a swoop below, then you slide, and then you break out. This is the basic cup and handle pattern. It's a pretty popular one, and it would make sense because, you know, we have a bit of a dip, it fights this dip, you guys see kind of a triple bottom here, you know, triple bottom in this circumstance. We push up, we slide a little bit more down, but then we get kind of a reconfirmation of whatever the line of support is, and then we break out. So that's the way a normal cup and handle would work. Now, the issue here is that, of course, when we look on TradingView, you guys can see it is doing that, but the opposite. It is creating an inverse cup and handle pattern, which is essentially something like this. Now, this normally is a bearish signal. So when you see something like this, you have obviously the cup, then you have the handle, of course, and then bearish. Not very good, not very good at all. And what it comes down to is the fact that, you know, when you have the handle part of the cup and handle being inverted shows that it is trying to retest some of those very, very important lines. It is trying to retest the 63 line, you know, whatever you would want to call it, the 61. You know, there are a lot of different estimates you can make, but I think a safe one to make is really wherever these two candles failed. So these two candles failed right around 61-ish. So that is definitely the line of support we have been talking about here for the past few days, and unfortunately, that is now becoming the line of resistance. So the difficulty here is, of course, whether or not we can break through this. And if we do, you know, it could still be a bull run, but unfortunately, it is very possible that based off of these two retests, we did not, and that we are essentially, you know, building up to have this handle come up all the way again to the 61-ish, 62 line, and then fall down into a bear trap, which absolutely sucks. Now, the other option here is that we ignore the inverted cup and handle, and of course, are left with a different scenario, which would be a triple bottom. So here is 1, 2, 3. If you wanted to say this is possibly an extension of the triple bottom, and the triple bottom, again, would look something like this, where you have 3 different bottoms, and you get ready for a breakout. So if you wanted to be very generous and assume that SHIB was just having a bad day today, you could say, yeah, this is just a triple bottom. And after we, you know, hit these 3 points, and this one took a little bit longer, but, you know, that's okay. We now have room for a breakout. So again, that is possible. It's just another scenario that is really worth considering. Now, when we take a look, of course, at the Fibonacci retracement, you guys can see over on the screen, it is going to give us the data points that are extremely important here for determining how this will move in the future. So we have the high and the low of the most recent run, of course, and the high in this instance being 72-ish, 73, with the low here being right at 53. So definitely a big drop here, and the major thing that we are, you know, sort of looking at is the 38.2% line, and it really is amazing to me how accurate the Fibonacci retracement actually is. I mean, seriously, this 38.2% line is essentially what SHIB needed to retest and succeed at retesting, and unfortunately it doesn't look like it did. So these two spots here really should have been over the 38.2% line. It should have reestablished itself well above and gotten ready to hopefully work its way up. that did not happen, unfortunately, as this 38.2% line served as quite the obstacle, and again, pushed it down to the 23.6% line. And now the 23.6% line is acting really as what you could say a very difficult point of resistance. We have a lot of stuff going on below it. Right now we're really pushing at it, and this line, of course, is the high 50s. To enter the high 50s, can we sustain ourselves in the high 50s? I think that would be acceptable, but definitely not ideal. And unfortunately, it's very tough to tell whether or not we will even be able to get up to the 23.6% line and to sustain ourselves there. When we take a look, of course, at the relative strength index, you guys can see it is way oversold here a little bit. It is way oversold, which, actually is kind of a good thing, as it gives us a little bit of room to move up, but it is still possible we could head below, well into the 20s, where it would be considered oversold, and, you could cause a lot of problems, including a further tank if people think, people are just dumping out of this, people are getting out of this. So you do have that to worry about. But if that doesn't happen, you do have a lot of headroom here in which you could move and work your way up. So you do have a lot of this headroom here, which is possible. Again, you could, if you wanted to, head to, say, 63, 64-ish without having a horrific crash. It is possible, because the relative strength index would consider that to be appropriate. Now, again, if we did head up to 63, 64, and we're able to stay there, that would be wonderful, because that would have reestablished a lot of very important support lines. And the major support line, again, that we've been talking about for so long is just right around 60. No matter which way you slice and dice it, right around 60. And I said this a few days ago, really, and it's managed to prove true, is this 60 line is really the support line, no matter which way you slice and dice it. And whenever it is below 60, causes a lot of FUD, causes a lot of concern. And whenever it's above 60, it's safe. People aren't worrying as much. So that is definitely something worth thinking about, because it is honestly kind of upsetting. Now, when we take a look at the MA cross, of course, the moving average cross, you guys can see we are entering a different kind of territory here. So, of course, whenever the red manages to cross the green, of course, we're getting kind of a bullish movement. Then when the green crosses the red, you get a bit of a bearish movement. And right now, the green is well over the red. So that is definitely bearish. Again, it is possible that they could recross, but that would take a little bit of time to really see. And the final thing, of course, is the MACD right now, which is not loading on my TradingView because TradingView is awful. But my MACD here, which you guys can see on the screen right now, is telling us, yeah, time to sell, which is unfortunate. Again, it could very possibly change in the near future. It is possible, but we will just have to wait and see. It's giving us kind of a definite red sell here, which definitely doesn't look good to me. But, indicators are not everything. There are instances in which indicators have been proven wrong, and you really can't rely on all of them. The best thing you do is just to combine looking at the relative strength index, look at the Fibonacci retracement, and using your best instinct as to where you think those new lines of support and resistance will be. So with that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new for daily SHIB vids. My name is Matt. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.